A storm of speculation hit online platforms over the weekend with viral reports claiming that the group chief executive officer of the NNPCL, Bayo Ojulari, had either resigned or been arrested. Some blogs and news sites alleged he was picked up by the DSS and the anti-graft agency, the EFCC, over suspected financial misappropriation, fueling intense public curiosity and confusion. Other reports suggested he had voluntarily resigned despite a rebuttal from the presidency denying any such development. However, by Monday morning, the GCEO resumed at his office as scheduled. In the long line of disturbing fake news is another AI-generated viral video on your screen portraying the president as critically ill. In the light of existing legislation on fake news, what are the implications of such on national security? Well, for more on the growing menace of fake news and its destabilizing effect on governance and public trust, let's bring in a senior advocate of Nigeria, Adamson. Adeboro, thank you so much for being on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you. My pleasure.
When you see things like this, you wonder what challenges they pose to the security agencies and how they should react.
Things like this are not peculiar to Nigeria. Fake news is a global matter. I remember when the former Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said that fake news is an international or a global pandemic. I agree with him. He says that the issue of fake news have a ravaging effect on the security, and not only security alone, even individual. The question is this: is this just starting now? I only answer that question by saying that fake news is aggravated by the advent of social media. Now everybody is almost a journalist. Once you can have access to Android phone, then you automatically become a journalist.
And internet.
And internet.
Yes.
And such people will not know the code, the standard, and practice of journalism. So they can violate the law as they like. Now, if you look at the implication, for instance, look at what the kind of picture depicted of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that he was critically ill and invariably died, which turned out to be false. Of recent, in Nasarawa, a bridge that was commissioned after a week was depicted or alleged to have collapsed. And the governor had to come on here to say, look, this is not correct. Now, look, you look at all this from one, again, while President Buhari was, the late President Buhari was in power. You remember?
Jibrin from Sudan.
Jibrin of Sudan conspiracy. Till today, some people still believe that that story was correct. But the same Buhari that you said was Jibrin from Sudan, we also saw that it was buried in Katsina. These are all fake news that have devastating effect on the security of Nigeria. Now, I agree with anybody who say, oh, it's my right constitutionally, the right to freedom of expression under Section 39 of 1999 Constitution. But the question you ask yourself, is that right? Absolute? Where your right to expression, freedom of expression, violates the right of another person, there must be a penalty.
So then I ask a question: at what point does it, from a legal standpoint, at what point do this fake news, misinformation become a national security threat?
When it injures, for instance, the right of another person, or you see, when you are, for instance, the issue of the president that will be depicted here, the malicious actors and foreign adversaries may take advantage or leverage on that to cause mayhem in the country. Again, look at the NSAS period. The entire scenario of NSAS was partly generated by misinformation, fake news. Oh, the owner of Tollgate is Tinubu. This and that and that and that. And that angered youth. You see, so those are part of the effects on national security. Like I said, your right to freedom of expression is not absolute. It's curtailed by the right of other persons. Where you violate the right of other person, then you must face the consequence. And hence, we have laws from the penal code, the criminal code, to law of defamation, that civil matter, and the recent one that has just been amended, the Cybercrime Prohibition, Prevention, etc. Act of 2024 as amended. Now, under these laws, when you try to malign or injure the reputation of another person through your misinformation or fake news, that person is entitled to seek a legal redress, either civilly or criminally. Howbeit, you will discover that the provisions of the cybercrime law, the provisions are being misused or abused, even by the law enforcement agents or individuals. My take on this matter is, if the information given is accurate and correct, then once it is verified that it's correct, then that matter should end there.
But when it is not?
When it is not correct, then the law enforcement agency can call me in terms of criminal prosecution. And here, I want to commend the DXS.
The secret police.
The secret police, particularly the headship of that organization. Today, the kind of the reform we have, there's a pragmatic shift, and the tradition of DSS we used to know, that the one we need to, like the one we used to have now. Here, we have a lot of reforms. Now, look at the issue of Gali Ismail, alias A.K. Sultan. You see, that was the guy who generated the issue of the president, the video. Now, the DSS has taken the guy to court. He's undergoing trial. Not only that, and a lot of that.
Yeah.
Now, you see that now they are taking action civilly.
Yes, and I just wanted to add one more because we're running out of time. We've seen them noticeably, as you've said, taking proactive stance lately. Remember the recent issue of a proposed shadow government. The DSS also approached the courts. But my question would then be, if you've assessed them this way, how do we ensure that, in trying to be civil, there are also consequences for the actions? Because they say the wheels of justice grind slow. How do they balance that? You
see, the issue of shadow government here.
And where is that case?
I am not permitted to discuss it.
Okay.
It's sub judice.
Okay.
And the court has warned that the parties should desist from telling or saying anything about it in the public. That's the warning the court gave in the last adjournment. Now, be that as it may, if you look at the prof at the center stage of the matter, why that matter was in court, when that matter was filed in court, it was not in Nigeria. He has come to Nigeria and he has even granted an interview with Arise, with Dr. Ruben Abati, where he stated clearly that the matter is ongoing and the shadow government, the shadow cabinet is still functioning, and all manners of things.
Is that contempt of court?
That is the contempt of court. And you see, I love the candor, the composure of DSS. They've not done anything contrary to what the court has said, And apart from that, the prof has come to Nigeria. He has even attended a program in Abuja, and DSS did not attempt to arrest him. That shows the pragmatic shift from the tradition to new era under the current leadership of DSS.
So they are being civil, but then how do we ensure that there are consequences for such actions? Is that something you think might be counterproductive?
It cannot be counterproductive. You see,
something we should encourage.
When they go to court,
okay,
all they are asking the court to interpret is this action is in contravention of the law of the land. If the court answer in the affirmative, they know what to do.
Okay.
There is a borderline
between
civil matter and criminal matter. And remember, time does not run against the state in respect of criminal matter. So if at the end of the day, they discover that this person, we took him to court under civil proceeding, but we have been found to be guilty. Now, that doesn't prevent them from charging that court or that person under criminal law.
All right, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Adamson, Adeboro, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on these various stories.